Welcome to today's episode. Today, I'm going to share the story of my very first flight journey. It was an exciting and unforgettable experience. The night before my flight, I felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. I carefully packed my bag, making sure I had everything I needed: clothes, my charger, some snacks, and most importantly, my passport and flight ticket. I checked them more than once to make sure they were safe in my bag. Early in the morning, I got ready, wore comfortable clothes, and called a taxi to the airport. As I sat in the taxi, I kept thinking about how it would feel to fly in a plane for the first time. When I reached the airport, I saw many people. Some were rushing, some were waiting, and some looked calm. I went to the check-in counter and gave the staff my passport and ticket. They gave me a boarding pass, which I needed to enter the plane. After that, I moved to the security check. I placed my bag, phone, and other items in a tray, and the officers checked everything. Then, I followed the signs and found my gate. I sat down and waited, watching other passengers and listening to the airport announcements. When it was time to board, I stood in line, showed my boarding pass, and walked into the plane. A friendly flight attendant welcomed me with a smile. I found my seat, which was next to the window, my favorite. I sat down and fastened my seat belt. I looked around with curiosity and listened carefully to the safety instructions. Soon, the plane started moving. It went faster and faster, and in a few seconds, it took off into the sky. I looked out of the window and saw buildings getting smaller, roads turning into lines, and white clouds floating below. It was an amazing view. I felt like I was in a dream. During the flight, I listened to music, read a little, and enjoyed some juice. Everything felt calm and peaceful. After some time, the pilot announced that we were ready to land. I looked out again and saw the land coming closer. The landing was a bit shaky, but I was okay. I was happy and proud of myself. After the plane stopped, I followed the other passengers, exited the plane, and walked into the airport. I went to the baggage belt and waited for my luggage. When I saw my bag, I felt a small joy. It meant my journey was almost complete. I picked it up and walked out of the airport. I took a deep breath and smiled. My first flight journey was a success. I had faced my fear, learned new things, and enjoyed the whole experience. It was a day I will always remember. Vocabulary highlights. Passport, a document used for international travel. Ticket, a paper or digital slip that lets you travel. Boarding pass, a card that allows you to enter the plane. Security check, a process where your bags are checked. Gate, the area where you wait to board the plane. Seat belt, a belt that keeps you safe in your seat. Fastened, tied, or take off when the plane leaves the ground. Land, when the plane comes down to the ground. Luggage, your travel bags. Baggage belt, a moving belt where you collect your bag. Pilot, a person who flies the plane. Nervous, feeling worried or a little scared. Journey, a trip or travel experience. Thank you for listening to my first flight journey. I hope you enjoyed the story and learned some useful English words. Keep practicing and see you in the next video.